Taxpayers, watch out. The U.S. government is about to rip you off billions of dollars with no congressional approval. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. The U.S. Treasury Department is trying a cute maneuver that could ultimately cost American taxpayers nearly $200 billion without Congress passing the necessary legislation. Here's how. It sounds arcane, but the cost to taxpayers will be all too real. Back in the 1960s, the U.S. and other countries created something called special drawing rights, SDRs in short, that would give nations money to back up their currencies. Most governments have reserves, primarily gold and U.S. dollars, but also a smattering of other major league currencies. The U.S., for instance, has a huge pile of gold sitting primarily in Fort Knox and in the deep vaults of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. When a currency is under attack, governments use the reserves to fend off the assaults. They also use these reserves to help importers pay for their products from overseas when sellers want real money instead of the questionable currencies of those countries. In the 1960s, there were fears of a gold and dollar shortage based on a bogus theory that held sway at the time. The shortage would allegedly hamper international trade. And so governments created what was dubbed paper gold, special drawing rights. These SDRs were backed by nations giving the IMF a batch of their own currencies. The U.S. thus forked over dollars in return for its allotment of SDRs. In effect, stripping away all the flim-flam, governments with weak currencies could exchange their SDRs for U.S. dollars or other desirable currencies. SDRs may sound like a sort of funny money, but they are a real call on Washington for dollars when weak currencies turn in their SDRs. Today, the IMF wants to create another $1 trillion of SDRs, and the Treasury Department is trying to hand over $173 billion to the IMF as part of its allotment. What's so crazy here is that most of the new SDRs will go to large countries that have no need for them, especially when governments have been printing vast amounts of new money in recent years, and even more so thanks to unprecedented peacetime spending triggered by the pandemic lockdowns. The world is awash in liquidity. But Treasury says the large countries like the U.S. will recycle these SDRs to needier nations that need the dough. In essence, the U.S. would be giving dollars to countries that have a claim for them or think they need them. No matter how Treasury tries to sugarcoat it, the U.S. would be spending dollars and a lot of them. That's why Congress should force Treasury to seek its approval. Moreover, given today's realities, a thoroughgoing debate is needed about the necessity of more SDRs anyway. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.